Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. This week on The Bold and the Beautiful, do you know what is hitting the fan in Naples? Ridge Forrester, Thorsten Kaye, and Captain Nick Marone, Jack Wagner, will continue to compete for Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang. But soap viewers are having a tough time getting invested in the love triangle, seeing as how Nick Marone has been gone for over a decade. Is Captain Nick's big proposal and over-the-top romantic gesture really that believable? Sure, Brooke Logan is great and all, but what has inspired his sudden interest in her again? The Bold and the Beautiful fans are starting to question Captain Nick Marone's sanity, and for good reason. Jack Wagner's big return has been just that, and he breezed back into Los Angeles like he never left. But the fact is he did leave, and Brooke Logan and all of his other exes have moved on without him. In fact, when was the last time his name was even brought up? The Logan women clearly haven't been losing any sleep over Captain Marone being MIA for 10+ years. However, fans are expected to believe that the entire time Nick was gone he was pining over Brooke Logan and plotting on returning to sweep her off her feet. If you actually were watching the CBS soap back when Nick was a regular, then you know that he was also smitten with Brooke's daughter Bridget Forrester, Ashley Jones, her sister Katie Logan, Heather Tom, her other sister Donna Logan, Jennifer Gareis, and even her rival Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig. So why is Brooke Logan the one that he's in hot pursuit of? Are you having a hard time getting on board with Captain Marone and Brooke Logan's epic romance? Are you holding out hope for a bridge reunion? If you've been around long enough to remember Nick Marone's boat rides, his tangled love triangles, and his signature smirk that could sink 1,000 hearts, you know he's never been the play-it-safe type. But lately, whispers in the shadows of Los Angeles suggest that the former sea captain might be sailing straight into uncharted and dangerous waters. Rumors are swirling that when Nick finally resurfaces in town, he's not the same cool-headed businessman and romantic rogue we remember. Instead, he's erratic, unpredictable, and possibly unhinged. But is this just Nick being Nick, or has he truly lost his marbles? The Forrester jet barely had time to cool on the runway before Ridge started getting text messages, "Nick's back." But this wasn't a social visit, no yacht parties, no leisurely strolls down the pier. He came straight to Forrester Creations unannounced, barging into the CEO's office like he'd never left. Dressed in a salt-stained pea coat and looking like he hadn't slept in days, Nick dropped a bombshell. "I need your help, Ridge. The kind of help only you can give me." What followed was a rambling tale about shady investors, missing cargo, and a mysterious woman known only as the Red Siren. Ridge, who's dealt with more than his fair share of drama, tried to follow the thread. But the story was peppered with wild accusations about corporate espionage, secret underwater vaults, and a conspiracy involving the Marone family fortune. By the time Nick finished, Ridge was leaning back in his chair, torn between calling security or a psychiatrist. Naturally, Brooke was next on Nick's list. Their history is as complicated as a Paris couture gown, full of stitches, seams, and scandal. But when she saw him, she couldn't ignore the weariness in his eyes. "Nick, what happened to you?" she asked softly. "I can't tell you everything, Brooke," he replied, glancing over his shoulder as if someone might be eavesdropping. "Not yet, but you need to believe me when I say the people after me aren't playing games." While Brooke tried to coax details out of him, she noticed his hands shaking. And when she reached for his wrist, Nick flinched, like he'd been startled out of a nightmare. This was not the confident man she remembered, the one who once took on Ridge without breaking a sweat. Nick's arrival wasn't just unsettling for Ridge and Brooke, it rattled the entire Forrester family. Eric, always willing to give someone the benefit of the doubt, tried to welcome him back. But it wasn't long before Nick started showing signs of paranoia. At a family meeting, he accused Thomas of spying on him. "Don't think I don't know about those calls you've been making," Nick snapped, eyes narrowing. Thomas, who had no idea what Nick was talking about, fired back. Within minutes, voices were raised, hands were thrown in the air, and Eric was forced to step in. "Nick, this isn't you," he said firmly. "If something's wrong, tell us, but don't come in here making wild accusations without proof." Nick's response? A cold, chilling smile. Sometimes proof is the most dangerous thing you can have. It didn't take long for Taylor, the resident psychiatrist, to hear about Nick's erratic behavior. Concerned, she approached him under the guise of catching up. But her trained eye picked up more than just stress. He spoke in bursts, often jumping from one topic to another without finishing his thought. His gaze kept darting to the corners of the room, as if tracking invisible movements. And when Taylor gently suggested he might be under extreme mental strain, Nick bristled. "You think I'm crazy, don't you? You think I've lost my mind," he said sharply. "I think you've been through something traumatic," Taylor replied carefully. "And trauma can cloud judgment, make it hard to separate danger from perception." Nick leaned in, his voice dropping to a whisper. "This isn't perception. They're real. They're coming. And if you don't believe me, you'll regret it." As the days passed, the name Red Siren began to pop up more often in Nick's conversations. Nobody knew if she was a person, a ship, or a code name. Bill Spencer, never one to turn down a juicy mystery, decided to dig. What he found was troubling. In certain circles, the Red Siren was whispered about like a ghost story, a mercenary, a smuggler, and a master manipulator all rolled into one. Some claimed she seduced powerful men and stripped them of their fortunes. Others swore she was just a myth. But when Bill showed Nick a blurry photograph allegedly taken in Monaco, Nick's reaction was explosive. He grabbed the photo, ripped it in half, and growled, "You don't understand. She's already here." Nick's fixation on the Red Siren began to consume him. He started showing up uninvited at Forrester events, claiming she was lurking nearby. He planted hidden cameras in Brooke's office for her safety. He even confronted Hope outside Il Giardino, insisting she was being followed. Hope tried to brush it off, until a black car really did start idling across the street. But by the time she pointed it out to Liam, it was gone. The line between Nick's paranoia and reality was blurring, and everyone was beginning to wonder. Was he losing his mind, or was he the only one seeing the truth? Things escalated when Jackie Marone returned from Europe after hearing troubling reports about her son. Jackie, fiercely protective as ever, tried to get to the bottom of it. But Nick's erratic explanations left her more confused than comforted. "Darling, you're scaring me," Jackie said, reaching for his hand. "Good," Nick replied grimly. "If you're scared, maybe you'll be careful." The conversation ended with Nick storming out, muttering about protecting the family from forces they couldn't comprehend. The breaking point came during a high-profile Forrester fashion gala. The event was glittering, the champagne flowing, the models flawless. Then Nick appeared, disheveled, tense, scanning the crowd like a soldier in enemy territory. Midway through the show, the lights flickered. A shadow moved along the upper balcony. Nick shouted, "She's here," and bolted across the room. Guests gasped as he tackled a man in a black suit to the ground. Security rushed in. The man turned out to be an event photographer. Nick's explanation? "That's what she wants you to think." By the end of the night, he was escorted out, leaving the Forresters shaken and the media buzzing. Just when Ridge and Brooke decided Nick needed serious intervention, Bill came back with a bombshell. His latest intel suggested the Red Siren was in Los Angeles, and she'd been seen boarding a yacht in the marina where Nick kept his boat. Suddenly, Nick's warnings didn't seem so far-fetched. Was he unstable, or the only one prepared for what was coming? In the coming weeks, viewers can expect a whirlwind of drama. Taylor struggles to get Nick to agree to a psychological evaluation, torn between her professional duty and her instinct that he's telling the truth. Brooke feels conflicted, drawn back into Nick's orbit by his vulnerability yet frightened by his behavior. Ridge tries to protect the family brand while investigating the Red Siren quietly on his own. Bill gets pulled into a dangerous game of cat and mouse that could prove Nick's sanity or destroy it entirely. And the Red Siren herself may step out of the shadows, forcing everyone to reconsider just who's really lost their marbles. One thing is certain, Nick Marone's return is about to rock Los Angeles to its core. And whether he's a hero, a madman, or a little bit of both, the fallout will be unforgettable. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our Boldy and BAUTFUL UPDAT YouTube channel for more update news.